in. If you're here today, the reason why you're here is because you know that today we are all about helping MSPs win more projects with Microsoft Azure in 2024 in this year. Just a quick start so you guys know who we all are. My name is Nate Freedman. I am the CEO of Tech Pro Marketing, and I've been doing this for about the past 7 years, helping MSPs win more deals, generate more leads. You may have seen me throughout the channel a little bit. Try to stay active and help everywhere that I can. And definitely when the Alif guys came to me to present with them on this topic, I thought it was something really exciting. And what I'm excited about is that we've got my community, everyone who's been following Tech Pro Marketing and enjoying our content, and we've got Alif's community as well. And together, we're really able to put something together special. And that's what I'm doing with Farhan. So now I want to just kind of let Farhan do a quick introduction about himself, about Alif, and what they're doing over there.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. So my name is Farhan. I am the CTO at Aleph Consulting. So basically, we are a Microsoft service distributor. We are working with a lot of partners like you and distributors in enabling them, empowering them how to rightly position Microsoft solutions. So we have been there in the market for a couple of years now, and we are already gained a lot of traction from partners like you and customers like you. So this webinar is all about getting more into Microsoft, winning new Azure deals. So for that reason, we have this slide where we're talking about the new partner designation because that plays a very important role. You guys need to have your badges ready, your solution partner designation ready, so that you can hit the market and align with your customer, saying that we are already equipped with whatever arms and ammunitions are needed to win the Azure deals. Yes, Nate, over to you.
Yes, thank you guys. So you can see Farhan and I, we've really put our heads together of seeing how can we make this entire process of generating leads, executing the deals, and then actually nurturing and building a community of these Azure clients and prospects so that you've got a sustainable Azure consulting business as part of your MSP. And we're both experts on different parts of it. So I'm so excited that we're presenting together. Now, when me and Farhan were going through this, we have a lot of content. We had to cut out a lot because we've only got 1 hour scheduled today. And I just want to let you guys know, like, don't worry, we're going to be moving fast, but we've got Ruqaiya who's moderating the event today. And if you have any questions, feel free to paste them in the chat. Ruqaiya will pop in if it's relevant and she'll let us know if we want to answer it right now, or we're going to try to save some time at the end where we can also answer questions. Another thing is we're going to send you guys the slide deck. We're going to send you any materials that we reference. The last thing I want to mention is, you guys, I know we've all been to presentations, we've been to conferences, we've been to webinars, live trainings online, where at the end of it, there's like this pitch for something. And it's like, oh, great, I knew that's what this is all about. And you guys, we have decided we're going to make this like a no pitch webinar. Both of us, Alif and Tech Pro Marketing, we've just got a mission of helping this space do better. However, that being said, if you're inspired by anything that we say and you're like, well, I actually did want to hear what kind of offer you guys have, we can do that separately. And we have got 2 options for you. If you're looking for help with delivery and actually some of the things that Farhan's going to be talking about, you can go to the Alif website and you can work on this program with them where they're going to help you get this partner designation. And for us, all you got to do is go to the Tech Pro Marketing website, fill out the form for the strategy call. That normally connects you with Mike Fielstra, who is really an amazing MSP marketing strategist. But if you're on this call today, put that into the form. And then I'll make sure that I go on the call with you so you can actually work directly with me one-on-one. We'll briefly come back to this, but that's basically all you got to know about working with us later on. Now, let's get into today's topic, win more Microsoft Azure projects in fiscal year 2024 for your MSP business. I want to start with a question for you guys, and feel free, guys, put this in the chat, right? Right now, what is stopping your MSP from winning more projects? Would love to hear from a few of you guys, and I'm going to pop into the chat and see what you guys have got to say. Okay. All right, so I think we've heard from a few of you guys, and I think a lot of the things that you're saying, I want you guys to know that you're not alone, okay? Because we're hearing this stuff from MSPs all across. For me, we work with MSPs in North America. Farhan works with MSPs all across the globe, and you guys were hearing similar problems from everybody, right? Number one, okay? not sure where to start, right? Yes, I want to win more projects, but I don't know where to go, right? The tactics are always changing, right? This person's telling me to do this. This person's telling me to do this. I'm hearing from this group that I should be doing this, and we don't know which one's the right one to do. Another thing we know as MSPs, we're small business owners, and taking the time to work on your marketing, working on your, getting ready to deliver these projects, these certifications, these types of things, it's actually hard to carve out time for. Another thing we hear is no confidence in the fulfillment ability, right? Even if we win one of these deals, I love my team, but I don't know if I have the right team to fulfill a large cloud migration, right? No predictability in where our new leads are coming from. And ultimately what this leads to is like no control over your business growth. And you guys, I know a lot of the time, it's like, it can feel like this, where it's like, as a business owner, someone who's running an MSP, there's so many different things going on, but we're going to help you get zened out today. We're going to let you guys calm down, settle down, and let's win some Microsoft Azure projects. I'm telling you guys this because one of our clients, his name is Andrew. He was in a really, really similar situation to a lot of the MSPs that I talked to, right? Runs an amazing MSP. He's actually been in business for over 20 years. And a lot of his early customers from even 20 years ago are still customers today. But the thing with Andrew was when he approached us to help him win bigger and better projects, he said, I've actually never really done any marketing before, and I'm not sure how to do it, right? We're going to come back to Andrew later, but what I want to tell you guys right now is a lot of the things that we applied with him, we're going to teach you today. And that's what we're going to be doing with this webinar. So let's dig in. There's going to be 3 systems we're talking about today. The first system is about generating interest in your MSP, because if you're going to win a deal, you need to get that interest. Number 2 is going to be executing deals. And this is really Alif and Farhan's expertise. And that's what they're going to be talking about. The last piece, we're going to put it all together. We're going to talk about once you've generated some leads, once you've won some customers, once your MSP is rolling a little bit, how do you nurture your community to get the most out of it? And let's dig right into system 1, which is generating interest in your MSP. Now, as a marketer, like I see this kind of stuff and I'm like, okay, like I guess some people might think this is what marketing is. And the truth is, this is like a funnel. This is something you might see that a lot of marketers might show you. And I think a lot of these types of tools are actually just there to scare you. The truth is, marketing, winning these types of deals is not as complex as a lot of people make it out to be. When I think of a funnel, I don't really think of this. I think more of like the agricultural use funnel, and it's like this. And you know what's in this big funnel right here? What's in this hopper is what they call in the agriculture world. It's leads, okay? So if you want to win deals, first you're going to need a lot of leads. You're going to need to fill up your hopper, because if you just have 1 or 2 leads coming in here or there, you're not going to have enough practice. And it's also, you're going to be a little bit desperate when those leads come in. So it's super important to be generating a lot of interest for your MSP. We got 3 steps to do that. Number 1 is a lot of MSPs that I know, they're doing great in one tactic, right? Either inbound marketing, they're doing really fantastic with their SEO, or maybe they've got a caller that's just crushing it. They're calling every company who needs cloud migration, and they're setting appointments that way, and that's outbound marketing. But we found the most successful MSPs, they're balancing outbound and inbound marketing. Now, I want to quickly talk about what is outbound versus inbound, right? Outbound leads are different than inbound leads, because this is when you reach out to your prospect. This is often has a longer sales process, right? Because when someone reaches out to you, they say, hey, we need to do an Azure migration in the next few months. Can you help with it? You know it's going to happen right away. But if you reach out to somebody and says, hey, are you considering shutting down your server and moving everything to the cloud? That's going to be a much longer process, right? So outbound's a little bit different in that sense. The other thing is you reached out to them and you have to earn their trust, right? If you've ever cold called somebody, if you've ever cold emailed somebody, if you've ever approached somebody on LinkedIn, a lot of times they have the attitude of, well, all right, I'll listen to what you got. And that's not really a position that's comfortable to be in. But if you recognize that, you can use it to your advantage. Ultimately, with outbound marketing, getting outbound leads, you control the marketing process. So examples of outbound marketing, things like LinkedIn outreach, right? You guys might be getting LinkedIn DMs. A lot of times they seem spammy, but this is actually a tactic that works really well. How about shooting someone an email? Hey, do you need help with your Microsoft Azure? Are you looking for a Microsoft Azure cost optimization, right? If you reach out to an IT director or something like that, they might be like, yeah, I am looking to optimize my costs on Azure, right? I think some of us have received a sales letter in the mail, right? We talked about cold calling, and also there's in-person and virtual events. These are all things where you're putting things out there. Inbound is the other side of the coin, and I'm talking that you have to balance both of these. With inbound marketing, it's different, right? This is when your prospect reaches out to you. They find you online and they said, fill out a form on your website. This is a shorter sales process because they're ready to buy already. You already have the trust of the prospect, which is amazing because they've chosen you. So if anyone has chosen to reach out to you, you know that they already like what you have to say. And it should be a little bit of an easier sales process in that sense. And inbound marketing opportunities, these are things like organic search, SEO, paid search ads, right? Google ads, going into things like directories. Hey guys, we have a lot of great clients that are doing amazing on a website called clutch.co. It's one of the top directories for cloud consulting and IT consulting businesses. So if you're not on there, I totally recommend getting on there. And another inbound opportunity is leveraging existing audiences. This is what Farhan and I are doing today, right? I have my audience of people who are following what we're doing at Tech Pro Marketing. Farhan has his audience of the things that he's doing at Alif, and together we're bringing both audiences together. I get to get in front of his audience. He gets to get in front of mine. Using existing audiences, it's an amazing strategy, especially if you've got synergy and you both work towards the same solution, which is what we're doing in this case. Now, that's step one, balancing outbound and inbound marketing. Step two, this is the concept of meet your prospects where they're at. And I think this is so important, especially when you're talking about cloud consulting, when you're talking about moving people to the cloud. And what I'm talking about here is that a lot of times business owners, IT managers, chief operating officers, I think these are a lot of times the people who are going to make that decision about moving to the cloud. They are just dealing with IT issues, right? And you, as an experienced MSP, as an IT consultant, you totally know. It's like, hey, dude, like if you just migrate off your old server that's like breaking down and having all these issues and just moved everything into the cloud, everything would be fixed, right? But that's not what they're thinking. They're thinking, I'm dealing with nagging IT issues and I need help desk, right? I need an IT consultant. They're not necessarily thinking that they need Azure because they just have the problem and you know the solution. And if you stand all the way at the other end of the screen here and you're trying to yell at them with a megaphone, that's not going to be an effective way to do it. So what I want you guys to do, and what I'm going to do in this next slide, is I want you guys to walk closer to your prospects and meet them where they're at, right? So now they're still saying I'm dealing with IT issues, but you're a lot closer and they can hear you. So you're going to get right next to them and you're going to say, okay, let's see what's going on. What IT issues are you facing, right? And then once you've met them where they're at, this is where you can then educate them on the process, educate them on why Azure is the right solution, and then you can sell this project. But if you're standing back here and you're trying to just yell with a megaphone, everyone needs Azure, your message is going to get lost because that's not what your prospects are thinking about right now, right? And a great example of this is one of the websites that we have in our new program. It's called MSP Sites. You guys can check it out, mspsites.com, and it's called the Help Desk Website Framework, because what we've really found is like business owners, chief operating officers, these people that are ideal to do a Microsoft Azure migration, they're not looking for Azure migrations. They're looking for help desk. They're looking for managed IT support, right? They're looking for IT consulting. So when you're going out there with your marketing message, you don't have to necessarily sell Azure right away. You need to listen to the market, find out what their problems are, sell that, and then once you've sold that, then they will be happy to move to Microsoft Azure with you. So that's what step two is about meet your prospects where they're at. And this third point about generating interest is just don't miss any opportunities. This is something that happened to me really, really early on. When I first took on my first MSP client that happens to be now like one of the top CMMC compliance companies across the United States, when I first started working with them, they came to me and they're like, Nate, we're not generating any leads. And I was like, all right, let me see what's going on. Well, do you know what? I went into the back end of their website and there were all these leads in there, but you know what happened? Nobody had set up the form notification. This was super embarrassing for their last marketing company, but it also taught me a lesson. Let's make sure that we have every T crossed and every I dotted, right? That we really, really know exactly where every lead is coming from. And I took it even a step further, right? Not only am I making sure the forms on my website work, not only am I making sure the phone number on my website works, I'm also now with all of our clients, we're doing things like lead magnets, website tracking software, and live chat. So some popular lead magnets that we've had is an IT strategy email course, right? We've got a new one about cloud cost optimization email course, cyber breach, right? Get our cyber breach audit, and having something small like this on your website that's just going to allow people to give their name and email without requesting a call and just get some more information. This is really, really powerful. And then what you can do is you can follow up with an email. You can follow up with a call. But if you only let people contact you and get a quote or get an audit, then you're really limiting the amount of people that are going to reach out to you. Another thing that's been super powerful for us is we realize that there are tools out there, and it's called website visitor identification software. I'm showing you guys a screenshot right now of a tool called Lead Feeder. This is one of many tools out there. I don't have an affiliation with any of them. And what they do is you can actually go log into a tool like this, and it will tell you everybody who's visiting your website, right? So we do this at Tech Pro Marketing. And then when we identify a good prospect who goes to our website, we just send an email like this. Hi, first name. I saw someone from your company was checking us out on our website. I wanted to reach out and see if I could help, right? And what you guys could specifically do is you can check if people visit your cloud migration page. If they visit your Azure migration page, then you know this is the right type of people to reach back out to. And all you need to do is shoot a short email like this. You could send this on LinkedIn, or you could even call. The last thing I want to talk about is website live chat. I couldn't believe this when we installed it, but we actually found that about 25% of the leads that come in through any of our MSP websites, they come through the live chat bot. And you know what the thing is with this live chat is I think there's a few keys to really make it successful. Number one, right? People are going to visit the Azure migration page for our wonderful client CyberStreams, and that's a fantastic website. But the way that it works is they see that live chat and they start talking. And we don't just say, do you have any questions, right? I see this and it frustrates me when I see this on websites. It's like people, they might have questions, they might not. But what if you ask them a question? And we have a basic question here. Are you currently a client? And then if they say no, it's like, okay, great. What's the name of your business, right? And starting a conversation. Another key for this thing is we invest heavily in live chat agents. We don't use AI, and we don't rely on somebody who's got other jobs. We use live agents because we know responding back right away within 1 or 2 seconds is so, so important. So if you're going to install this, something like this, and I can recommend, if you guys want to send me a DM on LinkedIn or whatever, I can recommend some tools, but you can just do a search for live chat or live agent chat. There's so many different options out there. That is what step 3 is all about, and that's making sure you don't miss any opportunities. So I want to hear from you guys, and whether you want to type it in the chat or write it down or just take a moment to reflect, which one of these systems is going to be the most important for your MSP, right? Is it balancing outbound and inbound? Are you guys in a situation where you're maybe doing one tactic, but you know you could be doing more? Or is it a situation where your customers are saying one thing and you're saying something else, and then you need to meet them where they're at? Or is it this case where it's like, oh my gosh, I actually am generating leads and I'm just missing them all, right? So these are the things I want you to think about, and go ahead and type that in the chat, and Rakaya can respond back to you. She's our moderator today, or just keep it for yourself, and we're all good there. Now, I mentioned Andrew at the beginning here, and I just want to mention him again because this was so cool. This is honestly like one of the best experiences, and I know Farhan's had similar experiences. He's going to share about another MSP owner named Harry that we know about. And this is an email I got from Andrew just at the end of 2023. And I just thought it was so cool. It's like, yes, you can check it out. He added 13,000 in MRR this year. We're super pumped about that because look, man, 13,000 in MRR, he keeps each client for 5 years. He's talking about he added like $750,000 in revenue this year alone. Fantastic for an MSP like this. But another cool thing is that he got a project, and I know it was a cloud migration project, in July, and then Gino, right, his lead engineer, turned that into a $2,000 a month managed services agreement. So this is one of the major powers of doing cloud migrations, of doing Azure consulting work, is once you finish the project, of course, they're going to want to work with you afterwards, assuming you do it the right way. And I think Farhan's going to talk about some of that. So you guys, if you've been inspired by this so far, just going to give you one more quick opportunity that we've got those strategy call forms for Alif and for myself, and Rakai's putting that in the chat. Now, you guys, thank you for listening to System 1. I'm going to come back at System 3, but we've got Farhan who's really going to talk about executing your deals. So Farhan, you ready to go? Are we good to drop some knowledge bombs on these MSPs right now?
Sure, Nate. Thank you so much for the wonderful explanation.
Yeah.
Definitely. That is very much needed by the MSPs because you can't get leads coming to them directly. You need to put in some efforts, put in some strategies to actually get the leads out of your customers, or maybe your existing customers or your new customers. So, MSPs, we would be talking about the same. Like, even if you get leads, let's suppose you get leads with the process which Nate mentioned, you follow the entire process and then you have some leads flowing in. But are you ready to grab it and actually deliver value to those leads? Because definitely you're putting in a lot of efforts and leads don't come into you directly, and there are a lot of competition in the market. So, once there is a lead to you, make sure you leverage it, make sure you deliver it rightly. I would like to give you an example of a partner we're working in the USA. Again, he's a very good partner. He's been there in the market from a decade or more. But we reached out to him and he said that, Farhan, I don't have any business. I said, Microsoft is growing. How come you don't have any business? He said, I'm only working with the existing customers. I said, like, this is not justified. So we just got into his existing customer base, not even generating new leads, checked all of them, proposed solutions to them, called them on calls, gave demo, and we were actually about to convert a lot of projects. And our agenda behind this is once you get hold of a customer, once you get into the account of a customer, make sure you convert it into a managed services practice. And there is never no business, because if there was no business of Microsoft, Microsoft is now the number two company, and very soon it would become the number one company. Definitely, they are doing a lot of business. So we as partners who also have a lot of business, we need to hit the right point, maybe from your existing customers or following Nate's approach, new customers, get new leads and actually deliver value to it. And I would come to the partner challenges now, because once you get leads, or even if you have your existing customers, because any new thing is launched by Microsoft like Copilot or Azure or AI, people start talking about it. The CTOs are very interested talking about it. They might come to you, hey Harry, do you do this? But since you don't have any knowledge around those products, and you might be a traditional partner doing license selling and meeting the customer once in a year, but now the customers demand for solutions, and especially what is niche and new in the market. So if you even if you get a deal, there are challenges like not having the right set of resources, lack of technology expertise. And again, if you start hunting for people after you get a project, you might delay the project. And there is a lot of things as well, like some leads come inbound to you, some RFPs, RFQs. So bidding for that, these are all partner challenges where we are ready to help you. And that is why we saying we're not selling anything here, but at least a call with us, how to mitigate these challenges, how to get yourself equipped and be ready for any project. Don't say like, I am a company of 10 employees and 15 employees, I cannot take a deal of 15,000 users. You can have faith and confidence in you, and we are being the backend IT arm for a lot of partners. So with this, there is no upper limit for us. We can hit the market, we can deliver with the same professionality as other big companies are delivering it. So these were the partner challenges. And again, for a lot of partners, we again divided into three steps. Like, tap into your existing customer base, keep calling them, don't be a transacting partner. Call them, hey, how's it going? Do you face any IT challenges? Or maybe Microsoft has launched a new product. Can you check this? For some of our partners, we just said call them and check their consumption. We would do a free assessment, and we were actually saving a lot of amount of money for some of their customers, because they were spending so much amount of money on Azure for the underutilized resources. They were not knowing if the resources were utilized, if they need to pay for it, if it is the actual need for their infra. So anything as a gate opener, as an account opener, gets into your hand. But again, you need to be very proactive for that. You need to be calling your customer, following the process of lead generation. And then again, build a healthy pipeline. This builds a healthy pipeline for you. Like, you won't get a lead directly as a closure. As Nate mentioned, leads come in and it takes like a quarter, sometimes 2 quarter to get it converted into a deal. So build a pipeline, a healthy pipeline. Some could be hot leads, some could be warm leads, but again, have leads in your pipeline and you can target for the forecast of the upcoming year to deliver projects on the same. Third and very important point, Microsoft rolls out a lot of content, but partners are not aware of the different fundings we get. There are fundings for workshops, trainings, proof of concepts, email marketing, webinars. So even if you utilize those, you don't invest your money, your time, but actually Microsoft is funding for you to promote Microsoft products, and you can leverage that fully. Do workshops, POCs with your customers. They are satisfied, they are happy. Yes, my partner is very active and very engaging. Anything comes new, he comes to me and like he likes to do a workshop or a training, and within that also there are high chances of conversion. So my main point here is you are actually billing the customer, you're locally present, you have that local rapport with the customer. Utilize that for your existing customer, as well as take it as a benchmark for your new customer, because you're there in the market from a long time, you can get a lot of deals. And utilizing the Microsoft funding, we want the partners to actually sell solutions. And here, that is why Rukaya would be pasting a link in the chat window. You might be new to Azure, you know there are servers and storage and clouds and AVD on Azure, but again, you can bifurcate your existing and new customers industry wise based on their segment, and again take the reference of Microsoft Azure case studies, prepare a solution around it, and just float it around to your customers, and then maybe call them on a short call, or maybe give them a demo how actually it would fit their need. Because if you're selling solution and not Azure as whole as a technology, it would make more sense and it would be relevant to them, because you're selling a solution, it could be a small piece of Azure, a sub technology, but again it might be solving their challenge. So that is what my request and my agenda behind this webinar was, to give you some information around this, and again be a helping hand to you, be a delivery arm to you. So if there is any requirements, you can paste it in the chat window. If you need to have a call one-to-one session with us discussing on the solutions or your approach for this fiscal year, definitely we can talk about it. I would hand it over again to Nate, because a very important point, the last system is left, where you actually get recurring revenue out of it. So Nate would be explaining in depth about it. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. That was really awesome. Let me start my share again here. So I think, what I'm seeing here is like with what I presented and what Farhan presented, like, I don't want to tell people that business is easy, because honestly, business is super hard. We both know that. And your business, your MSP, you have to bring something to the table. You're going to have to provide value. There's no way around that. But like, if you leverage market development funds from Microsoft, right? If you kind of like work with the right marketing team, like we're able to get some results for some of our clients, right? You work with the right fulfillment team, it's not easy. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but we're helping make it a little bit easier, and I think that's like one of the cool things about the MSP market. I've seen MSPs go too far in one direction. I mean, I'm going to outsource everything and do nothing myself, and then that never works. But if you can leverage partners the right way, get the funds from Microsoft, like, I feel like you guys could do something really, really cool here. So, the takeaways for Farhan's point here, we've got tap into your existing client base, build a healthy pipeline of leads, and utilize Microsoft funding. I think they're all super important, but you guys definitely think about what's going to be the right one for you to really focus on going to this next quarter. And my last system, I think this ties it all together, and this is nurture your community, because we both talked about it so far. Like, it's great every once in a while, like it happens, like someone calls you up and they're like, hey, I need help with this project, and you actually sign them that day. Like, that's definitely happened. But I think when I've done any study on purchasing decisions, I've done like kind of meta analysis, this is what I found, is that most purchases happen between 3 months and 18 months. This is the sweet spot for a B2B purchasing decision. And this is why I think nurturing your community is so, so important. We have done nurturing, and I think the first step, we're breaking into 3 steps again, is follow up at the right time. If you're doing outbound, like we talked about, doing emails, doing LinkedIn, cold calling, you're going to get a lot of responses that look like this, okay? Reach out to me in a few months. Reach out after the holidays. Starting in Q3, we're going to be starting our Azure migration. Let's talk about it then. Check back with me mid next year. And I'm telling you guys, like, they're not blowing you off. Okay, if people send you this message, actually, this is like the perfect opportunity, because what happened to me, and this is like weird story, but a major lesson for me is I actually worked at a chocolate shop called Lindt Chocolate back when I was in high school. Maybe we've got some chocolate fans here. You guys have had their chocolate before. It's a really, great Swiss chocolate company, or at least was back then. And this one kid from my high school is a couple years younger. He was kind of like a slacker in school. I knew him a little bit, and one day, like it was like the beginning of the school year, he started working with me, and I was like maybe a kiss up at the company or whatever. And I was like, "How is this kid getting a job here?" And do you know what the manager told me? She's like, "Do you know what happened, Nate? Is that guy? He came like 6 months ago and asked for a job, and I told him we're not hiring right now, but come back when school starts, and we might have an opening." He came back the afternoon of the first day of school. And that impressed her so much that if you follow up with somebody at the exact moment they ask, I mean, what an amazing way to start the relationship. So, my buddy, he ended up becoming a friend. He got the job at Lindt Chocolate. But you guys, if you have this opportunity where they say, reach out to me in mid-March, reach out to them on March 15th and like make it happen. And they would go, whoa, your company must understand deadlines. They must know the right thing to do, right? Yeah. So following up is so key here. When you get these messages, don't blow them off. Step 2, nurture with value. Okay. And this is super popular right now, is sending a lot of value. Like if you're on LinkedIn, like everyone feels like they're a social media influencer, but I think nurturing with value is a little bit different. And what I do is we break our nurture into 3 different groups. Okay. We have got our group of prospects. These are the people that are potential customers, right? Included in that prospect list, we also include like our potential strategic partners. And these are the people that we want to like just provide value with and educate. We've also got our existing customers. And what Farhan's saying is like, go after your existing customer base. Well, it's awkward if you only meet with them once a year and they never hear from you. And then once a year, you're like, hey, I want to talk about selling you some more stuff. You might not have the best relationship, right? But if you nurture that relationship throughout the year, it's going to be really, really easy to sell later on. So we've got that bucket. The last one is your team, right? One thing I found is that actually in business, like when I first started, I was like, getting new customers is the only thing that matters. But there's a certain point where actually getting new customers is secondary to getting amazing team members. So building that amazing team. So we've got these ideas for nurturing with value. You can do things like case studies, events like we're doing today. You could do an event for your prospects. Like this one is a lot for prospects and for customers, because we're providing tons of value. You could do a cybersecurity spotlight, the latest technology that Farhan keeps talking about, like people want to know this type of stuff. Employee achievements. Partnerships, that's a cool one, right? Hey, we got our Microsoft Azure partner badge, client success stories, expert interviews, kind of like what Farhan's doing today. Is I'm going to bring in a lead generation expert. I know that marketing's super important to my audience. Let's do that, right? And just things like customer appreciation. So I think a lot of times it's like overwhelming, and a lot of people feel like they have to like have like this big newsletter that must go out every month. And I think it's a little bit of pressure to put on yourself. So the way we do it, at least, is we break it down to 3 different assets. The first thing we have is our team member newsletter. This is just important to get our team super excited. And like I mentioned, as you grow, your team gets more and more important, right? And we also work with people, with companies just like Alif. And Rukaya, we were talking earlier, she knows some of these companies. They're not in the Azure space. They're in the web design and marketing support space, but we work with companies like that. But having your team members who are even at your white label partners, getting this type of message and building excitement and knowing what's happening at the company is so, so important to get everyone on the same page. So for us, we nurture our team members with value, right? The second thing is we send out a special message every month or 2 to all of our clients. And this message is all the training that we've got coming up, all the ways we're trying to increase the amazing value that they're going to get from working with us. And if you do this, and if you send this out to your clients, they're going to want to upgrade with you. They're going to say, wow, I get your newsletter every month and I see the work you guys are putting in to become the best IT consulting firm, right? To become the best MSP. And that's what you can do with this type of newsletter. And then I think the last newsletter is more what people think about when they think of email newsletters, because they think of it only as a marketing tool to prospects. And again, for my case, I keep it simple, right? I usually send out, it's not like I send out one big newsletter every month. It's every time that I have something to share, I share it with my newsletter, right? So last week I had an article come out on a partner of our Super Ops. Some of you guys might be using that PSA RMM tool. And we talked about lead generation online. So I got that published on their blog, and then I just did a quick newsletter. Hey, here's what this blog post is about. This is going to provide value for you guys. And if you scroll down, we're not going to do it in this, it's a link to the blog, right? So keeping your newsletter simple, but just focusing on providing value to everybody, right? And that's step 2, is nurturing with value. But the thing is, and I made this mistake early on, right? I was email marketing for like over a year, okay? And I wasn't getting any leads. And I was like, no, I'm giving so much value. I'm like providing so much value. Why aren't I generating leads for my email marketing? And what I realized is that I wasn't doing any withdrawals. And I'll explain what that is, right? As a business, with any one of your people that you have a relationship with, whether it's partners, whether it's clients, whether it's team members, whoever it is, you have a bank of goodwill with them, okay? And just like an ATM machine, right? If you go in and you keep withdrawing money, but you don't deposit any money into it, they're going to say, there's no funds in here. You can't take anything out, right? And this is the same thing with your newsletters. This is the same thing with your nurture system. If all of your nurture things are, hey, I want to sell you this. Hey, I want to sell you this. Hey, I've got this thing I want to sell you. They're going to be like, oh, this is one of these annoying people that only tries to sell me stuff. So I believe in making sure that anytime you withdraw and try to sell things, that you've built up enough value. Now, you don't want to make the same mistake that I did, where it's like I never asked for anything. And maybe some of you guys are going to do that, where it's like, no, I'm so nice and I'm kind of shy and I don't want to like ask. I hate selling, so I'm just going to provide value. I think that happens. But on the other time, I've seen people where it's like, gosh, this person never provides value and all they do is ask for things, right? So I think a great deposit to withdrawal ratio is do 2 deposits and 1 withdrawal, right? Do 1 webinar and 1 article, and then do something about an offer you have, right? Then do a case study and an employee spotlight and some new technology, and then ask for something, right? So following a cadence of deposit, deposit, withdrawal, right? Maybe deposit, 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 withdrawal. But if you make the mistake either way, like I've made, right, where I've done too many or too few, you're not going to get the results that you want. And here's the thing, people are like, well, how do I make a withdrawal? I'm going to tell you guys about one of my favorite email marketers of all time. His name is Dean Jackson, and we use his email pretty much word for word, and you guys can look it up online. It's called the 9-word email. Dean Jackson, he wrote an article on medium.com something 10 years ago. It's still online, the original source for this, and this is how it works. You send an email, the subject is their first name. You don't put in the word first name, you put in their first name. This is proven the best email subject line through our testing. I think through everyone else's testing. I've never had an email that gets opened as much as this one. And then all I do is 9 words. Are you still looking for help with your cloud migration? All right. If you've never talked to them in the past, you don't know, are you looking for help with a cloud migration? This is the type of email that's going to get a response. So value, and then withdrawal. And if you do this, you're going to have an amazing community. So that is what step 3 is all about. Withdraw when you can. And definitely, you guys, let's think about this. What are you missing in your MSP right now? Okay. Following up at the right time, right? You overlooking those people that are like, come back the first day of school, because I'm telling you, you'll get the job at the chocolate shop and it'll work for your MSP, right? Are you one of the people that forgets to nurture with value and you're always asking for stuff? Or are you one of the people who always provides value, but then is too shy to ask for the withdrawal? Because you're going to need to do both of them, deposits and withdrawals. You need to have a great, healthy bank account in that bank of goodwill. So those are our 3 systems for today, right? We've got generate interest, we've got execute your deals, and we have got nurture your community. If you do these 3 things, you are going to have success. You're going to win more deals this year in 2024. But here's the thing. I've done a ton of webinars like this. Okay. I know Farhan's done this. He met one-on-one with so many MSPs out there that after the webinar, after the meeting, they're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But then they don't take action, right? So you need to figure out, guys, like, what side are you on, right? Are you gonna take action, or are you gonna like let this happen? Because here's the truth, okay? Farhan and I asked him to give me a couple messages, right? Give me some proof that this stuff is really working. And I'm telling you, we're hearing from MSPs all the time. They're winning deals. They're using our methods, right? These are our clients. They're getting great results. They're selling Microsoft Azure projects. So you need to ask yourself, you guys, right? Do you want to leave your MSP's growth to happenstance? Or can we build a system to win and deliver world-class cloud consulting projects? All right. I want you guys to be on the side with us, okay? And number one thing is, after this call, take action. I want you guys to apply what you've learned today. We mentioned we're not pitching anything, but I think some people might be inspired right now, okay? And if you're feeling it, literally take a moment right now. Go to techpromarketing.com/strategy golf. Anything in this lead generation part of it, anything in this nurture part of it, has really excited you and you're like, I want to do it, just schedule the strategy call with me. If you're not the right fit for us to help you, I'm not going to push it. I want to help you guys, especially because you took the time to really invest today. I'll be on that call with you one-on-one. Make sure in that form you mention that you saw me on this webinar, so I know to make sure to show up for that one. And you guys, if we inspired you to take the partner badge further, if we inspired you to really take the delivery of these projects more seriously, we've got a Leaf solution as well. So Farhan, I want you to kind of share a little bit more.
Sure, Andrew. Yes. Yes, team. So, like, if you're struggling with the Azure MCCP designation, like the new designation, it needs a lot. It needs new customer points, scaling metrics, certifications, anything you want to have a call with us to discuss more about it. We would be guiding you. And again, you can rethink on the projects you've done. If you faced any challenges in terms of resources, in terms of project delivery, in terms of project management, definitely we are helping a lot of customers. We're working with a lot of partners in the US and in the Middle Eastern market. Again, we can discuss about the synergies and how we can collaborate and make this work together. So you can book a call with me. Rukaya would be pasting the link to our website, my personal email address. Maybe you can definitely hit me up, and then maybe we can align a call and discuss this further.
This was awesome. I learned so much from you today, Farhan, and I'm actually going to take some of those things that you taught. I'm going to apply directly with our clients. So like, I've gotten a lot out of it. I know the audience got a lot out of this call today as well. I want to thank everybody for joining. We're just coming up on our 45 minutes here, so we nailed it. We did hit the timing. I'm super pumped about that. Anything else we want to say to the audience before we close off today?
That was it, Nate. I believe the audience already know what needs to be done. It's the start of a new year, and I believe they would be having plans and they would be discussing with other teammates, and you would be getting some appointments, and I would also get some emails in my inbox.
All right, let's do it, you guys. Super excited to see everybody grow in 2024 with more Azure projects. I'm Nate Freedman from Tech Pro Marketing. We've got Farhan from Alif Cloud Consulting, and we will be in touch soon.
Thank you so much, team. Have a good day. Bye-bye.